Umbrage surrounding Governor Henry Smith's shenanigans influenced delegates drafting the 1836 Constitution. They had grown wary of chief executives who became hungry for power the moment they assumed office. To guard against such abuse, Article 3 stipulated that the first elected president would serve only a 2-year term and never succeed himself in office. Later presidents would serve for 3 years, but neither could they serve successively. They might, however, serve any number of non-consecutive terms. Texians wished to make sure that their chief magistrates did not wield too much power and never ensconce themselves in public office. Houston yearned to join Texas to the United States, but many hurdles blocked the path to statehood, and he had precious little time to clear them. Over the summer of 1836, U.S. President Andrew Jackson dispatched State Department clerk Henry M. Morfitt as a special agent to Texas. Old Hickory tasked him with gathering statistics on the new republic, information the president could use to make an informed decision. Morfitt submitted his findings in August. He approximated the population at 30,000 Anglo-Americans, 3,478 Tejanos, 14,200 Indians, 5,000 slaves, and a handful of free blacks.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
With so few inhabitants, Texas sovereignty was tentative. During the recent revolution, the provisional government had incurred millions of dollars in debt which the current government lacked the resources to repay. If that were not enough, a boundary dispute soured relations with Mexicans, who insisted Tejas, in spite of the Battle of San Jacinto, remained part of their national domain. For those reasons and more, Morfitt counseled the United States should postpone recognition of the breakaway republic. President Jackson heeded Morfitt's counsel. On December 21, 1836, he referenced Morfitt's findings, observing that the United States only conferred recognition with the prospect that the new nation could sustain its independence. With Texas, the question was much in doubt. Jackson disliked the odds. He noted Mexicans menaced Texas with an immense disparity of physical force. Although an expansionist and a friend to Houston, the American president believed recognition was premature. Passing on the matter, he consigned it to Congress, where it died in committee. Back in Texas, President Houston worked for U.S. recognition and annexation. He posted the old War Party hotspur, William H. Wharton, to Washington with orders to pursue recognition. When, and if, Wharton accomplished his mission, he carried his credentials as foreign minister in his saddlebags. Mimican Hunt also traveled to the capital on the Potomac River to aid Wharton. The diplomatic duo wrote to Houston with heart-rending news. Powhatan Ellis, the U.S. minister to Mexico, had appeared, telling that insolvency, insurrection, and anarchy was rife inside Mexico. Any possibility of an offensive against Texas was slight, least in the short term. Moreover, the United States, Great Britain, and France were hounding Mexican officials for compensation for their citizens' claims. The bad news for Mexico proved good news for Texas. On March 1st, 1837, U.S. congressmen approved a resolution to send a diplomatic agent to the Texas Republic. During his last night in office, Jackson signed a decree recognizing Texas independence and naming Alcée Louis Labranche as charge d'affaires. On July 9, 1838, Congress adjourned without addressing annexation. Martin Van Buren, the new president, viewed it as a political liability and indicated he did not plan to pursue the object. Crestfallen, Houston supplanted Hunt with Anson Jones. Earlier, as a Texas congressman, Jones urged President Houston to withdraw the offer of annexation. He maintained Texas had so flourished that it no longer needed to affiliate with the old states. But the measure was only a face-saving gesture to prevent further humiliation. Acting on Houston's instructions, Jones notified American officials that Texas was withdrawing its application for annexation. Like a blushing bride, Texas offered herself to the United States, but the groom jilted her at the altar. Texians declared independence, believing they would soon join the federal union. Now they realized they must go it alone. Their rejection embarrassed them, but they remained defiant. Unable to accomplish annexation, Houston now turned his attention to problems closer to home. Indian relations lay heavy on his mind. During his first term, Houston sought to forestall conflict between Texians and native tribes, but the 1838 Cordova Rebellion undermined his endeavors. The outcome of the Texas Revolution had frustrated Vicente Cordova, an influential Tejano resident of Nacogdoches. Disdainful of the new order, he maintained contacts with Mexican authorities. Incited by Mexican agents, disaffected Tejanos joined ranks with disgruntled Kickapoo tribesmen who lived along the Angelina River. The Cherokees insisted they wanted no part of Cordova's subversion. Learning that more than 100 armed insurgents had mustered, former Secretary of War Thomas J. Rusk called up the Nacogdoches militia and entreated surrounding towns for more troops. Observing his peace initiatives going up in smoke, President Houston issued a proclamation ordering the militia to stand down. The president then established headquarters in Nacogdoches to manage the affairs. As he normally did, Houston took the middle path. But Rusk took a harder line. Ignoring Houston's directions, he forded the Angelina River to intimidate the Cherokees with a demonstration of strength. Rusk also opened a correspondence with Vice President Mirabeau Lamar, who also advocated a stronger stance against local tribes. Texian forces encountered and defeated the insurgents near Seguin. Cordova and most of his lieutenants escaped to Mexico, But Texians had not heard the last of him. With calm restored to East Texas, President Houston returned to the capital. Rusk and the militiamen returned to their homes. Houston's diplomacy had kept bloodshed to a minimum, and Cordova's upheaval proved a minor distraction. Nevertheless, Texians continued to mistrust the loyalty of Tejanos and Indians. By the end of Houston's first term, something extraordinary had occurred. Texians embraced their nationalism. This phenomenon characterized them and their heirs up to the present day, a sense that they were different from other Americans. The notion took root that they had inherited a singular destiny, what many have branded Texas exceptionalism.